Nope,
There's
it
a
wasn't. What's that?
Sir,
Yeah.
did you have any real concern this morning that you guys were not going to make it?
You know, I felt good all along until probably the last 5 minutes that I just turned the TV on and had to hear that go on for the last 5 minutes. And then I started to get really nervous. But you know, we couldn't be more pleased. And I mean that's an obvious statement, but I know how hard it is to get where we are. In terms of how well you got to play, and our kids have played really, really well. And you got to have luck along the way. You got to have a lot of things, the ball bounce your way. And so, you know, we're just really thankful and grateful for this opportunity.
Was there a hope on your part that you guys might move up to number 3 and avoid that matchup with Alabama?
Well,
Or did you think that far?
I think there's just, you know, there's so many things that are out of our control. You know, you just hope to get in and have a chance to play, and you know, so I know we really didn't get that far in terms of designing the ideal situation or matchups or travel and all that kind of stuff. You hope you're included and be grateful and thankful for it.
Chris, when you saw Clemson move up to number 2, was there a part of you that says, okay, wait a second, things might change a little bit because now maybe they're giving some extra weight to the conference title, things like that?
Yeah, I just didn't think about it that much in detail. You know, I mean, I know there's a lot of different things that go into it, and I think you just feel like you hope you make the cut and be proud and glad about it.
Would you have thought back in July, before fall camp started, that this was possible, that you guys could be here? Or was this maybe accelerated a bit faster than maybe you thought?
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, we always set our goals, and I think that's, you know, the goal setting thing is so powerful. But you set your goals, and then you just kind of move on to like your intermediate goals of just really working your tail off. Like that's what's going to propel you to get those big goals. And that's hard to make guys understand that, but our guys really got that. I mean, we kind of set them and left them alone, and the work ethic and the focus has been spectacular. And that's what I think is so awesome, because a lot of times you can do that and still not achieve everything that you really want to achieve, because you need a lot of other things to go with it, especially when you're setting stretch goals. And so for it to work out and happen like it has, it's awesome. Because it's not just about this year. To me, it's about even last year for these kids. Like there was a lot of hardships we went through last year, you know, to get to this point. And so it's awesome to be able for those guys to be able to kind of realize that.
For as much as you try to shoot down all the hype in the summer and everything, was this one of those stretch goals, one of those long-term goals?
Yeah, and so, you know, I don't know if the playoff even came up. You know, it was kind of about winning the conference championship and winning a Rose Bowl. You know, because there's so many other factors that go into this thing if they're going to take you into the playoff system. And so we really wanted to just focus on the things that we would truly control. And then if we had a little luck along the way, that'd be great as well. And so that was kind of our focus, but we really left, once we, you know, talked about that and set that, we kind of left those alone and went to work.
Chris, so much has been made of the strength of schedule throughout this process. How should that be handled when now schedules are being made 6-7 years ago?
Well, that's the whole point. That's what's so hard about it. You know, everybody wants to criticize on strength of schedule and stuff. I mean, that schedule was made long before I ever got here, for sure. And so, you know, I think everybody's trying to schedule well, and then programs and teams change. Some good, some not so good, and so it's very hard to get the proper balance. I mean, it's hard enough just to get a good matchup down the road, and then things really change. And so it's a lot easier said than done. I think everybody realizes that. We've been saying that a lot. We understand how important it is. But I think at the end of the day, we play in such a good competitive conference that we play a really good strength of schedule, you know, when you play in this league. And I think that's what everybody felt.
Coach, all year long it's been Alabama up here and then everybody else. And then as you can see today, a lot of talk about Washington, that everybody deserves to be in. Does that get some added motivation to your guys, maybe give a little bit more chip on their shoulder, or does it matter at all?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's always about us. It's just about us preparing and, you know, getting ourselves to play the best football as we can. You know, I think you know, everybody knows about Alabama, you know, and it's not just 1 year, it's every year, and how dominant they are. You know, but we'll prepare hard, and, you know, fortunately the Seahawks are here in town, maybe they'll scrimmage us to get us ready for those guys, you know, I don't know.
Chris, what, in terms of, I know you guys didn't necessarily have maybe a planned get together for this unveil, but have you gotten a sense for the initial reaction from the players and the coaches about this challenge?
Yeah, not really. We have a banquet tonight, and so it'll be a good way to kind of cap off the banquet, and then it'll be time to, you know, go back to work and finish school, you know, our finals, and, you know, get rested and get healthy before we start to really train hard again. And, you know, I think the big thing is it's, you know, it's not just, you know, it's about, we still got time to build skill. You know, we still got time to get better as a team. Now, that's a very delicate process when you don't play for a long time and you're just practicing. But I think, you know, certainly if we can do that, that'll help our cause.
What is your next 4 weeks going to look like as far as when you guys hit the practice field and how you kind of manage that?
So we'll, you know, give them most of this week off, and we'll practice probably one time this weekend, and next week they'll have off to take care of their finals. And, you know, they'll do a little bit of lifting in between. And after that, we'll go to work.
And then you got about 4 weeks. Azim and Joe Mathis, any thoughts on?
Yeah, I think they're both long shots. I don't think Joe Mathis at all. I think Azim's very long shot as well.
Chris, what can this mean for the program? You know, the spotlight, this honor,
Yeah.
and exposure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. You know, I think it's awesome for the school. You know, I think it's awesome for, you know, Seattle, and I think it's awesome for our guys that have, you know, there's a lot of guys in there that have been here for a while. Not a lot of them, but there's some, and just their commitment and their persistence and their focus, I think it's spectacular.
When you took the job, did you envision this 3 years, this kind of rise?
You know, things that we don't like, I mean, I envision being good,
Yeah.
for sure. And I think everybody in our locker room and everyone in our building, they wouldn't have come here if they didn't think that we could be one of the better programs around. In terms of what exactly that means and where you go, I mean, so much of that's out of your control, but from the second that we came here, I think everybody really envisioned being good. And it took us a minute to get there, and that was about as frustrating as anything a lot of us have been through. But that's part of the process.
How well do you know Nick Saban, or do you know him at all? I know you know Sark and Tosh a little bit.
Yeah. Not real well. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I know him. I've seen him on TV so much. I've talked to him once or twice. But yeah, I don't really know him.
Chris, this feels like a more appropriate time to maybe ask this now versus the last couple of weeks, but there's been reports about an extension for you. 10-year extension's been thrown out there by the media. What's your take on all that?
Well, completely false in terms of how long an extension is. We've never uttered one word about how long anything would be. And it won't be 10 years. And so that's just a little bit frustrating about that when stuff like that comes out, because then it's not going to be that and everybody says, what happened? And so I don't even know how that would get out there like that. It's completely false. Now, I want to be here a long time. And, you know, Jen and I have had a couple brief conversations that we'll, you know, figure something out. But it can be frustrating when there's like, you know, concrete information that's completely false out there, because then I think it sets expectations, and we know what happens when expectations are wrong and then not met.
Could you imagine getting something done before this bowl game, or is that maybe likely after?
That's not even a priority right now in terms of that, you know, and but it'll all get worked out how it's supposed to.
Chris, going back to that scheduling issue you talked about, how
Yeah.
all those things are set in advance.
Yeah.
But does this alter maybe your guys' thoughts in terms of Big Sky, FCS, and how that plans in, considering there's so many kind of regional ties that you can potentially make?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard, like I said, I mean, it's like who's available. I mean, we want to play a, you know, a competitive, challenging schedule that, you know, our fans are excited about, that, that helps us in our cause and all those type of things. I mean, we all get that. I think we're all on the same page. And then what you're talking about, you know, in the region, because that makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. But I know this, I mean, it's something that Jen will spend a lot of time on, and, you know, we'll talk about it, and, you know, I think it's not only a hot topic now, it's been a hot topic. And I think we're always trying to figure out what the right balance is and get it right for everybody.
Do you think that the 2018 game in Atlanta, was that a reaction to maybe some of the talk about trying to get, or is that something you guys are always trying to look at?
Well, you know, you gotta be invited. They gotta call you to ask if you're interested in it. You know, it's not like you pick up the phone and say, hey, does anyone want to play us in the kickoff classic? You know, I mean, so that was awesome to have that opportunity. And, you know, just figure out the balance of the whole schedule.
Anything else for Coach?
Okay, thank you guys.